Welcome to Detachment Diaries. This channel is about situationships, emotional patterns, and personal growth. I share stories from my past, not to shame anyone, but to understand myself and learn. If you relate to patterns of attachment, ambiguity, or emotional cycles, you're in the right place. Welcome back to Detachment Diaries. This episode isn't about what men did. It's about what I didn't see. Because for the longest time, I kept asking, why do I attract emotionally unavailable men? Why does my wish for a serious relationship never come true? Why does it always end in ghosting, mixed signals, or I'm not ready? And eventually, I had to ask a more uncomfortable question. Am I the problem? I realized I was repeating patterns when nothing was changing. Different guy, same outcome. I wanted commitment, but I kept ending up with men who couldn't give it. And when I really look at it, I wasn't just attracting emotionally unavailable men. I was tolerating them. When a guy said, I'm not looking for a relationship, I didn't feel discouraged. I didn't feel hurt. I felt challenged. It felt like, oh really? Let's see about that. I treated it like a competition. Like once he gets to know the real me, he'll change his mind. And if he does, that would be the ultimate ego boost. Because it would mean I'm special. I'm different. I'm the exception. That wasn't love. That was ego. And here's the honest part. Yes, I felt more attracted once they were unavailable. If a man was distant, inconsistent, unclear, something in me activated. I felt like I had to chase, like I had to earn their love. The unavailability didn't push me away. It pulled me in. That's not romance. That's conditioning. At the same time, serious available men, if I'm honest, sometimes they felt boring. Either they weren't my physical type, or they were too introverted, or they showed too much interest too quickly. And when someone showed clear interest in me, sometimes I felt like I might lose interest. That's wild to admit, but it's true. It's like my nervous system was wired for unpredictability, not stability. I also noticed most of the men I felt potential with, I met while I was traveling. Short trip, different country, intense connection, adventure energy. It felt cinematic. Like one of those romantic movies where you meet someone unexpectedly and fall in love in a foreign city. But movies don't show what happens after. They don't show, does he want long distance? Is he emotionally available? Is he dating with intention? Is he even in the right phase of life for commitment? I wasn't asking those questions. I was addicted to intensity. Meanwhile, in my own city, my hometown, I told myself I didn't like the men there. So instead of intentionally dating, I clung to the familiar. The situationship who wouldn't choose me, the convenient one I wasn't even fully attracted to. And I stayed, even when I knew it wasn't aligned. Why? Because familiar dysfunction feels safer than unfamiliar stability. And then I had to ask something deeper. Was I emotionally unavailable too? Because if I truly wanted a serious relationship, why was I consistently choosing men who couldn't give it? Why did I gravitate toward people who were passing through? Men from other countries? Men not looking for commitment? Men who clearly said they weren't ready? Maybe part of me wasn't ready either. Maybe choosing unavailable men protected me from real vulnerability. Because if someone is clearly unavailable, the rejection is predictable. And predictable pain feels safer than risking something real. I used to think my pattern was men don't choose me. But the real pattern was I chose men who couldn't choose me. And I stayed. I ignored red flags. I translated I'm not ready into convince me. I translated friends with benefits into maybe more. I translated mixed signals into potential. I romanticized intensity. I confused chemistry with compatibility. And I let ego guide my choices. The crash out moment wasn't one single breakup. It was when I felt like rejection was coming from every direction. Every guy I cared about seemed to not fully choose me. And instead of just blaming them, I finally saw the pattern. I wasn't setting boundaries. I wasn't walking away. I wasn't choosing alignment. I was choosing ego. The hardest realization? You cannot force someone to change. You cannot audition your way into commitment. You cannot love someone into readiness. If someone doesn't want a relationship, believe them. Staying and hoping is self-abandonment. And I was abandoning myself in the name of potential. Now I see things differently. Chemistry is not compatibility. Intensity is not intention. Adventure is not alignment. And a man being unsure is not an invitation to prove myself. It's information. I also had to accept something humbling. The serious available men that felt boring, maybe they felt boring because they were calm, because they weren't activating my chase response, because they weren't triggering that adrenaline spike. Maybe peace felt unfamiliar and chaos felt like passion. That's something I'm still unpacking. This episode isn't about blaming myself. It's about taking responsibility. Because once I saw the pattern, I felt embarrassed. But I also felt relieved. Because if I'm the common denominator, that means I can change the outcome. Now, when someone says, I'm not looking for a relationship, I don't treat it like a challenge. I treat it like clarity. And I move accordingly. Not because I'm bitter, but because I'm aligned. I no longer want to win someone over. I want mutual intention. I no longer want to feel chosen after a chase. I want to be chosen easily. And I want to choose someone who is already ready. Maybe that version of me needed those lessons. Maybe I had to see the pattern clearly before I could break it. But one thing is certain. I don't ask how do I make him want me anymore. I ask, does he want what I want? That question changes everything. This is the patterns I didn't see, and maybe the ones I had to see to finally grow.